So listen up. How did this brand go all the way to generating over $26 million in a 12-month period and be able to compete with their top competitors like Everlane, Taylor Stitch, and Mark Weldon, right? So I'm going to be going through the entire strategy that they are using, right, minus some other things that they're doing, so that it's actually applicable to you and you can go ahead and replicate this for yourself. So I've actually gone ahead and created this Miro board where I've gone through the entire traffic sources they're using, what countries they're targeting, alongside their whole ad strategy. What are they doing from an ads perspective, especially on Meta, in order to scale and get to these type of numbers. I'm going to be going through their organic marketing strategy, right, which is very important. And I'm going to also be going through their website, their funnel, how they converting this traffic and how they're outlaying all of this out so they can beat 99% of their competition, right? And I'm also going to be going over their email marketing strategy, how they're laying out their emails and how they're able to get all this traffic to convert and buy again and again. So watch this video to the end because there's going to be a ton of value. And if you see my other videos, you'll know that a lot of information is in here. So you're going to need to go ahead and watch this till the end and re-watch it so that you understand all of this, so that you can actually go ahead and implement this. Okay, there's no point watching a 30-minute, an hour long video if you're not going to implement all of the insights in here. Okay, so it's very important that you listen carefully and you actually understand all of these different concepts, right? So I'm Sammy. I've been working with brands for the past 5 years now, brands that are big and are scaling very well. So I know what works, I know what doesn't work, and I've been able to help brands generate these types of numbers, right? So this is not something that I haven't done before or that I'm talking out of my ass. I know what's working in the industry, in the e-commerce space, and with fashion, health, and beauty brands. So I've been there, done it. So I'm basically giving away the farm, right? So that you can go ahead and implement it for yourself. And if you can't implement it, then obviously I'm going to offer my consulting service, right? My coaching program, where I'll help you with implementation, right? That's how it works. I can give you the information, right? That's the trick. So I give you the information, you can go ahead and implement it. But if you can't implement it, then obviously that's where I come in and I help you implement it. And I charge you based on that. So that's basically the whole crux of this, entire video, where I can give you away the information. You can go ahead and implement it as a brand owner. And again, it's up to you whether you or not you're able to do that. And if you need extra help, then you can go ahead and click the link in the description, right? So now that we've got that, the sort of intro in the way, just wanted to make some important notes. As you know, this is for serious brand owners who have a large budget. If you don't have a large budget, then this will not work because you need the capital to invest into your business, right? If you don't have the capital, you can't get the right creatives that you need. You don't have sufficient ad spend where you can go ahead and scale to these types of numbers and increase your revenues and beat your competitors. And you also need to be able to have that for other contingencies which may get in the way, right? So that's why this is for brand owners, not for drop shippers, people who don't have any budget, right, or can't afford anything, right? This is not for you. Okay, you need to go ahead and get the capital first, whatever means that may be, whether it be credit, get a 9 to 5, whatever. You go ahead and find a way to do that. But this is for people who have a budget. Okay. And again, like I mentioned, I'm not going to lie to you about the expectations. This is not going to be easy, and you need to have a very good product in order to make this work. And it all comes down to the product market fit. Once you have that, then it's easier to scale. It's easier to run these ads and have the right creatives that's going to communicate to your target market. So you need to have a good product. You need to make sure that you're not, working on a shitty budget, right? Because that's not going to work. Okay. Now watch this video to the end, right? And then rewatch it again because you're not going to understand it the first time. Okay, a lot of information being covered, and it doesn't matter if you're a beauty brand, fashion brand, clothing brand, jewelry brand, right, homeware brand, whatever it may be. This will work because the principles apply, same principles apply, right? That I'm covering here, so you don't need to worry about that. And finally, if you can't watch a fucking video for 10 minutes, you need to click away now because you're just wasting your time. You're going to mess up this growth of this video on a YouTube channel, and it's not going to reach the right people, right? If you're just going to get people who have low attention spans and stuff like this, and you'll not succeed with business if you can't watch the video to the end. I cannot stress this enough because the information is here, all the information that you need is here. Okay. And if you're not able to concentrate and listen to the information that's being provided here and you want to work with me, then it won't work, right? You won't be able to take in the recommendations and you're just going to just fuck yourself over, right? So check off this video now if you're not a serious brand owner and don't have capital to invest. Okay. So this brand, you may have heard it before, Buck Mason. Okay. They are a brand that generated over $26 million, okay, in a 12-month period. And they basically do modern American classics with a commitment to timelessness, quality, and they have California roots. Okay. So as you can see, they have a brand identity. Okay. Their brand identity is surrounded by American classics. Okay. And their goal is to be committed to timelessness and the quality. And obviously, having Californian roots, they're going to have a unique identity that's surrounded around California culture. Okay. So they appeal to men's, jackets, outwear, and also women's outwear as well. And that's really what they're going for. But mostly their target market is men. Okay. So how are they generating, $26 million in a 12-month period? They are generating a lot of traffic to get to that point. Okay. As you can see, they scaled up during the springtime where they were doing 400K visitors, right, per month. Now they're up to almost 800,000 visitors, right? That's pretty much almost double what they did in February. So they started to increase for the summer, okay? This is a very interesting strategy that they implemented. And you can see here, right, graphically, right? They're increasing their number of traffic they get into the website because the demand is increasing for their products. Okay, so you can see they have a very low bounce rate at 33%. This is very good. Usually the average is around 50%, but in this case it's actually 33%, which means for every 3 people that are entering the website, only one of them is bouncing off of the first page. So this is very good numbers. Okay, the number of pages per visit is 5 pages per visitor, right? It's 5. So on average, people are visiting 5 pages, right? And that means that some people are visiting a lot more than that, maybe 10 pages, 8 pages. Some are visiting less, okay? But either way, this is a very good number, right? The average we usually see is like 3 pages per visit, 2 pages per visit, right? But this is very good numbers. And the reason for that is because they're targeting their target customer very well. So when they are targeting these people, they're more likely to resonate with their brand and they enter the website. And because there is a higher affinity to the products, they're going to go ahead and stay on the page for longer, which means they're going to convert more likely. And that helps them to scale and generate more revenue per customer. And it's no surprise that if they're doing 800K visitors per month, that they're able to generate $26 million in a 12-month period. Okay. And again, the visit duration is almost 3 minutes. Very good metric there. Again, this is correlated with how much revenue can potentially be made, right? The longer they stay on the website, the more likely they are going to purchase because they're getting more acquainted with the brand, so on and so forth. Okay. So these are very good metrics, and this is contributing to them generating $26 million in a 12-month period. Okay, now that we've gone through the traffic, right, and sort of how they're behaving on the website, we now can see, what is the geography? Who are they targeting? They are targeting people in the United States. Okay, 89 to 90% of these people who they're targeting are from the United States. Okay, so they are specifically targeting the United States because that's where a lot of the high-income earners are. That's those, there's a lot of people who buy online there, and obviously they have Californian roots. So a lot of the people, their branding in general, will appeal to Americans. So they understand that, and they've specifically gone ahead and exclusively targeted Americans, right? People based in America. Okay, so that's understandable, right? So if you're a brand owner and you're looking to scale and you want to try and eke more revenue out, then obviously you want to try and target the United States if you're based there. If you're based in other countries, let's say the UK or Canada, then you can go ahead and target your native country, and on top of that, you can target the United States. It really depends on your logistics, right? Because it's very difficult to have the logistics in America. It depends, right? You can have it, but obviously that's something that you need to make sure you have first if you want to ship to America and stuff like this. Okay. Otherwise, that can impact conversions. I've seen brands where they have issues with, getting the ROI in the United States because they don't have fast shipping to the United States because they don't have sort of logistics set up in the United States. So that affects their shipping times. The Americans who visit the website look at the shipping times and they're they, as a result, they'll go ahead and purchase. So that's really what happens there, and that's why it's important that where you're targeting needs to make sense, right? And in terms of the traffic sources, they are getting a lot of their traffic from direct, which means that a lot of people are just going straight to the website from the search bar on Google. Okay, so that you only get to this point when you have brand awareness already, when people know about your brand, which is really what you want, because it's the most direct form of traffic that you can get. Whereas search, people are Googling your brand, right? And they are looking for it, right? In this case, it's 30% of the desktop traffic. Okay. So people are going to Google, they're searching for the brand Buck Mason, and they're going ahead and entering the site from Google. So this may include paid search and organic search, it really depends. Okay. And obviously they have display ads, which is obviously going to be around retargeting on the Google Display Network. So websites such as Daily Mail, Entrepreneur, Forbes, so on and so forth, right? And then you got some from social and email as well. So this is for desktop traffic only. On mobile, this will look a lot different. You'll get a lot more social traffic, right, on mobile, right? And remember, 80% of the total traffic is going to come from mobile, and only 20% is going to come from desktop. So social actually has a higher influence on sort of the traffic that's coming into the website than, for example, direct and search. So that's what we've seen in terms of the traffic sources on desktop, at least. Okay. Now we've just gone over the overview for Buck Mason, right, and how they're, who they're targeting, how much visitors they're getting in order to achieve this type of revenue, right, and also basically where are they getting these traffic from, right? So again, if you didn't understand that, go ahead and rewatch that part, right? But now we're going to go into the ads itself, okay, and how they're sort of scaling with ads and getting brand awareness. They're maximizing their scalability, right? How are they doing that, right, in actual tangible form? So you can see here, they are relying mainly on meta ads. Okay, they are relying on Google, but mostly this is coming from meta ads because this is where they have more control over who they're targeting and how far they can scale. Google is restricted by search volume, right? And there's a lot more competitive on Google because for fashion brands, there's a lot of pretty much everybody is bidding on there, so the price is going to be very high in terms of trying to get people to the website. So they've gone ahead and done meta ads as well, Facebook ads, formerly known. So they are using different strategies. They have different creatives, right? Which is why I said you need to have income. You need to have the capital to invest in creatives, because you can see here they're using high production creatives here. For example, this flat lay image, clearly showcasing the product. Okay. And they have UGC style ads as well to achieve diverse creative strategy. And it speaks directly to the target customer. You can see here it says, I think I will probably hem them at some point, right? Who this is going to appeal to? This is going to appeal to men, right? Younger men, middle-aged men who are looking to buy sort of American classic clothing. Okay, this is who they're appealing to. The jeans, they like a good pair of jeans, right? This is what this ad is appealing to. Okay, and the model they're using is reflecting their target customer, right? Which in this case is a male, right, of a certain age, right? And of a certain aesthetic, right? Certain interest, right, is being imported, right, from the way he's conveying himself on camera, right? People are going to appeal to that, and they're going to have more affinity. So by the time they visit the website, they'll feel more likely they'll more likely purchase because they have an affinity to the brand after seeing this video. They are resonating with it more than compared to showing this to a woman who wouldn't be able to resonate with this because, for example, the model they're using doesn't sort of reflect who they are, and the sort of information included in the video doesn't resonate with them either. So this is you basically do the targeting in the creative. Okay, with Meta, with it becoming more automated, the targeting is going to come from the creative. Okay, that's where a lot of your leverage is going to come from. Okay, it's not going to come from the actual targeting in the actual ad set or the audience. So it's very important to know to understand that. Okay, and then you have the copy to reflect that as well. Okay, now they're also using lifestyle images. Okay, instead of using UGC content, which is more native to like TikTok, for example, more relatable, they're also using lifestyle type of content. And the reason they do that is because they want to resonate with different parts of the market. They also want to convey their branding, which is very important as well, when you convey your brand's, brand identity, you're differentiating yourself from your competitors, which means that you're going to be identified much more easily by your target market, and that's going to allow them to go ahead and purchase because they subconsciously understand that your brand is different from the others, so they have a reason for going ahead and purchase from your brand compared to if you are a commodity in the clothing space, right? The last thing you want to be is a fucking commodity, right? You don't want to be that. You don't want to be like any other brand who is very generic, right? That's just a recipe for disaster, right? As Peter Thiel said, competition is the worst thing you can possibly have, right? You need to go ahead and eliminate competition in any way, shape or form. And the way you do that is by having a brand identity that's very strong, very differentiated. And they've gone ahead and attempted to do that, right? They're using lifestyle images with different models wearing the product, right? And the way it's shown, right, it has the American classic look, which is obviously going to appeal to those type of people, right? And that's how they're going to generate the revenue. That's how they're generating revenue. They're bringing the people who appeal to that, okay? Now they have other statics, again, with different styles. This is going to captivate different parts of the target audience because not everyone's going to like these type of ads, right? So, for example, not everyone's going to like this type of ad. Not everyone's going to like this type of ad either. But people may like this, right? It really depends on their preferences. And as a result, because you diversified, you're going to appeal to those different types of people than if you just had one ad or you had a limited number of ads styles, right? So they've gone ahead and diversified. That's why it's very important that you diversify, you test in, via the ads, and that's going to help you scale, right? And you can see why they've been able to scale very effectively and how this has contributed to them getting millions of dollars in revenue per year, right? And I've seen this firsthand. Like I said, I've worked with brands in general that have generated these types of numbers with meta ads alone, alongside organic and email. So this is no stranger to me, and I've seen this work. So they are implementing a very similar strategy where they are diversifying their creatives. And this is what I consult brands on. I tell them you need to diversify your creatives. You can't just use one type of creative because that's not going to work, right? In 2024, right? You just appeal to one target customer, right? In the whole target market, when you're missing out on loads of other, customers who you would have bought from you if you had different creatives, okay? So that's really what they're doing, and they understand that, and that's how they're able to scale. Okay, so that's their meta ads at least, right? And then when it comes to their organic marketing, right, because that's important as well, right? You basically get free revenue from that, and you also build a brand that way. This is the easiest way, or the main way that you build a brand, right? Is by posting organic content. You can also use Instagram Boost as well, but they are posting on Instagram, okay? They are consistently posting on there. You can see they have very good brand aesthetics. They have very good brand consistency, and that's going to contribute you to building a strong brand, okay? And you can see they have 179,000 followers, and it only posted 1,500 times. Now, obviously, if you want to get to this level, then you're going to have to do that, right? You're not just going to post every other week and expect to grow. No, you need to be very consistent, posting high quality content and doing this at high quantity, which is why I said you need to have the capital to do that. You may need to have a team member who can do this for you, because as the brand owner, you should not be doing this, right? You need to have a social media manager, a creative strategist, whatever it may be, okay? And they will be able to help you to do that, okay? This is not for brokies. This is not for people who don't have the ability to do that. You need to be able to have the ability to get to this level, okay? If you want to be able to grow on Instagram, because again, the reach on Instagram is fucking shit, right? As of recent times. So you need to go ahead and keep posting reels, right? Carousels, okay? And then people will come. People will see your brand. This will become a snowball effect, okay? You'll benefit from the network effects of you posting on there, and eventually you'll keep growing, okay? And you definitely want to do this on TikTok as well. And you're more likely to grow on TikTok than Instagram, right? And more likely to go viral. So very important that you do that on both Instagram and TikTok, and also Pinterest as well, okay? Especially if you're a female-oriented product, right, or a female-oriented brand, you should be on Pinterest, okay? You just apply the same strategy that I just explained here, right? Posting consistently, right, with the right captions. You can use hashtags, right? You can tag people. You can do all of these different things, okay? And you want to be posting stories as well, right, to help you to get more impressions, okay? And you basically do the same thing with Facebook, right? They've gone ahead and done that, right? You see I have 37K followers, right? And when they post on here, they're getting free traffic to their website, okay? So they're not paying for this, right, via ads. They're just posting online. They're getting impressions online, right, organically. And as a result, they're getting website visitors and therefore sales online organically as well, okay? So you want to go ahead and do that. Now that I covered the organic marketing strategy, okay, and the ads, meta ad strategy, that is how it's contributing to them. Obviously, there's a lot more to it, right? For example, the Google ads they would have been running, but I have specialty in meta ads because that's what I've seen has allowed brands to scale much more effectively, okay? And in this case, I've just gone ahead and gone through the meta ads, and I've shown you proof that this has worked for brands, right, in the fashion, health, and beauty space, and they've been able to grow quite effectively with just that alone, right? So that's what they've been doing from that perspective. Okay. Now, this traffic that they've got from the ads on organically, right, it will go to the homepage and product pages, right? Now, on the homepage, they have the hero image with the models wearing the products. Okay. And obviously, this is very good because you want to convey the branding. And then when you scroll down, they're showing the menu arrival to maximize conversions. So you definitely want to do this as well. And once they keep scrolling down, eventually there will be a pop-up asking for their email, and they get complimentary shipping as on your first order, right? I feel this could be stronger, right? They should probably do a percentage discount, but then again, it depends on their strategy. Maybe they don't want to give out discounts, or they don't do discounts at all, right? Which is fine. But then again, if you want to increase the demand for your product, you definitely want to offer discounts. You want to find a way of being able to get the first-time customers. So this is what they've gone ahead and done, okay? And so you want to have a pop-up, and they added images, right, to also further communicate the rugged branding, okay? If you have a branding, you need to have these images, right, that showcase that in this aesthetic way, especially if you're in the fashion, health, and beauty space, okay? There's links to the collection, okay, the different collections, and this maximizes conversions as well because you're taking them directly there, right? And you're just giving them a helping hand in getting there. They also have a lookbook, okay? As you can see here, menswear lookbook, men's summer 2024 lookbook. Okay, this is giving people the opportunity to see what products are on offer, right, for the new season. Very powerful. And they go ahead and add more images to showcase the branding, what products are on offer, and they show it in their best light as well. So that's just a quick overview of the homepage, right? And again, if you hadn't understand the ads, because this is where all of the traffic will be coming from, right, or most of the traffic, then you need to go ahead and watch this part again, because if you didn't understand it, you can't implement this. Okay, so on the product page, once they enter the product pages, eventually from the ads or from the homepage, they'll be shown the product shot on a clear gray background. Okay, this helps to maximize conversions, right? Because as you can see, the product is clearly shown. There's no ambiguity about what the product is or how it looks. Okay, they clearly show it here, right? So there's no problem. And then they obviously have the model wearing the product. This is great to showcase how does the product look, right? If you don't do this, then people will not have an understanding of how the product looks on them, on a model or a human being, so they can't make the decision on whether or not they need to buy it. And if they do buy it and it doesn't fit how they perceived it would fit, they're going to go ahead and return it. And as you know, clothing brands have a relatively high return rate, like upwards of 20% even, right? So you definitely want to minimize this by having the right images and the right information, which is what Buck Mason provides, right? As you can see here, they have split pay options, description, fabric fit, etc. Right? You can see here they have all of this information. You need to have this information as well. Whether you're a fashion, health, and beauty brand, obviously for beauty brands, you want to have the ingredients. You want to have all the related information like sustainability, right? You want to have all of this very in people's faces so they can clearly see it. There's no excuse for them to not buy or for them to return the item because they have an understanding of what they can expect from the product, right? So they have this. So all the objections are handled, right? Or at least most of them. And if there's still any issues, then they can go ahead and go to the live chat and talk to a representative about any issues that they're having, right? With or objections that they have about the product or the brand in general, right? So it's very powerful. Okay, on top of that, they've got product recommendations. This is to increase average order value because remember, if you want to scale, you need to make sure that each customer is spending as much as possible. If they're not, then you're reducing the amount of profit you're making, right, per customer, which means you can't scale. You're less likely to make a profit. It's harder to spend more money to get more customers, and it becomes sort of diminishing returns, right? You need to make sure that you're getting a lot of people to your website, obviously, and then you need to make sure that each customer is spending as much as possible right? So the way to do that is to have product recommendations, because people will see that and they'll go ahead and add more products to their basket, right? Which is what we want. Okay, they always have an email pop up here. They have another one, right? And this one is just asking for the email again. They get offer free shipping, and that is going to get people to, convert as well, because some people don't like paying for shipping, right? Again, I would recommend that they do 10% off at least, as to get more people to sign up. Okay, and the reason they do that is because they want to get people to the email marketing list, right? Get them on the list so they can send email marketing campaigns, okay, which I'll cover in a bit. And on top of that, they have their cart page. So when people go to the cart, right, when they add to cart, right, and they want to go to the checkout, they'll be shown obviously information about what their cart looks like, but it will also be given recommendations. This is very powerful and something that you need to implement as well, because use of upsells will also increase the AOV. And again, because they added the cart already, they've shown intent. Because they've shown intent, it means that they're more than likely to add more to their basket if they're being prompted to do so, because they're already sort of got into the sort of mood of adding things to their basket. So they're more than happy to add more to their basket as well. So you can see here, this is $148. If they add this to their basket, this $55 tea, it will come up to $200, right? So you just increased your average order value, right, by like what, 25% or so. So it's a very, very powerful thing to do, and you need to have this. Okay, if you don't have this, people won't add things to their basket. They also have your $2 away from free shipping. Okay, so this again is encouraging people to add more to their basket if they want free shipping, and this is very powerful. Okay, and this is something that you need to implement. Both of these things you need to go ahead and implement, because this is going to be very powerful for you to increase your average order value, and as a result, allowing you to get more profit, get higher ROAS, allow you to spend more to acquire a customer. Okay, which is very powerful. Okay, so once they've gone ahead and done that and they purchased, they now have signed up for the email marketing, as you can see. Okay, so what sort of emails are they sending out? They're sending out those, related to their target market, right? They got a hero image, right? This is to convey brand consistency and also showcase, who are they trying to target as well, because you can see they have got a rugged male, okay, and it's sort of the older age range, because that's who their target market is primarily. So they're trying to communicate with these type of people. They're trying to resonate with them, and you can see the clothing is being shown right on the model. And this is obviously to maximize conversions, get people to understand what the brand is and what products are on offer, right? And this is going to attract a lot of attention. People are going to go and say, okay, I like this jacket, I like the trousers, I want to go ahead and buy it. It looks very stylish. I want to try this for myself. So they go ahead and visit the website and they go ahead and purchase. That's the whole purpose of all this. And this is what a lot of brand owners are missing out on, right? They think they can just do anything they like, right? And not actually resonate with the customer who actually buying their products. Okay, if you're not doing that, you're not going to make any sales, you're not going to grow, and you're going to stay where you are. Okay, so again, this is very important that you go ahead and watch this again. Make sure you watch this again, because a lot of information here that you can go ahead and implement, and you'll see uplift in conversions, right? And as a result, revenue as well. Okay, so they've got all of this. They've got the more images showcasing different products on offer, and they have a small description, right, which is sort of communicating the theme. You see the wedding suit shop. Okay, summer events call for outfits that keep you cool while still looking sharp. Okay, so they're sort of conveying what these products are for. When to wear these products and how you should wear them as well. So they're giving sort of product recommendations, right, which is very powerful, because people like to be recommended stuff. Okay, they gone ahead and shown different products as well, and they use more descriptions, naturally breathable. This kind of helps that they're using benefits as well, which you need to do in your copy, right? So that people understand, why would I buy this product? How does this benefit me, right? When you go ahead and say, oh, this lightweight cotton poplin is finely woven with a cool, crisp hand and light structure that wears like shirting, right? This is going to appeal to the target demographic, right? Because they want a lightweight jacket. They want a lightweight jacket that is going to make them feel cool, right? And look very crisp, right? And has a light structure, okay? So you see how they're using that language, because it actually conveys, what the target customer actually wants. Very powerful, right? And this is something that you need to go ahead and do, right? Use whatever you need to use, right? ChatGPT, whatever. Use something that's going to help you really target your target customer in this way, right? This is what you need to do. Okay, and obviously they use more models. Again, this guy's wearing a tuxedo, but it's still conveying the brand image, but also communicating with the target customer via images. And that's how they've been able to effectively have very successful email campaigns, right? Like obviously, I don't know no numbers in the back end, but you can tell by the frequency of emails that they're sending out and how much revenue they're generating, right? As a whole, again, how they're generating $26 million, right, in a 12-month period. That these email campaigns are very effective in them being able to maximize the lifetime value and being able to scale, right? So I've just covered all of that. Okay, if you didn't understand that, go ahead and watch this again. It was only half an hour, so this shouldn't be very difficult for you to do. Okay, I've just covered the overview of the brand, Buck Mason. Okay, I've covered the ad strategy that they're using, the creative strategy that they're using. Okay, on a meta perspective at least, and I've covered the organic marketing strategy as well on Facebook and Instagram. And then I covered the website, right? I covered the product pages, the cart pages, how they're maximizing conversions, how they're maximizing the AOV, right? How they're conveying their brand to their target customer. And then I've gone ahead and gone through the email marketing, right? How they sort of structuring their emails and how they going ahead and getting these people to convert. Because again, these people will come through the email, they'll go straight to the product page again, and they'll go ahead and purchase because they become more acquainted with the brand. They understand exactly what the brand is offering to them and how they can benefit from that. And then as a result, they'd be more obliged to go ahead and purchase because now they've been nurtured. They now have an understanding of what they need to be doing, right? In terms of, what they should be buying, what they should not be buying. And so that's how they're generating all this fuck ton of revenue because they understand, Buck Mason understands their target customer very well. They understand what they need, their pain points, what their desires are, and sort of providing a solution, right, from a fashion and clothing perspective. So that's what they've gone ahead and done. And again, this is very powerful. This is how they're able to generate, $26 million in a 12-month period. And, with all this information, you can now, you have two options, right? You can go ahead and implement this for yourself. You can go ahead and rewatch this video, right? Implement all the different techniques that this brand is using in particular and apply it for yourself. Again, this is going to be rather difficult because you may not be experienced in implementing all this stuff. And this will take a lot of trial and error. Okay, this may take you a few years, to be honest, as well, because there's a lot of different things that can get in the way. Personally, as I know with business owners, there's a lot of personal stuff in the way. There's a lot of things that brands are doing that may not fit in with what I've just covered here. So by the time you get round to implementing all of this stuff, it will be a few years because the meta, as for example, is very complex. Okay, well, I've just gone through has simplified it, right? Really, but there's a lot of this is like the tip of the iceberg, right? They're running a lot more ads, they're using a lot more complex strategies, which is not easy replicatable. But obviously, I know exactly what works, what doesn't, what they're doing on that level. So you can't, if I, what I tell you now, you can try and do this creative strategy and the ad strategy, but it's going to be difficult for you to implement, to be honest, right? As a brand owner who hasn't got marketing experience, okay, and even the website as well, you can get a developer to help you out, but again, they may mess it up. You may not do it the right way, may not be in your brand image and all this stuff, right? So you can easily fuck up, right? The same thing with agency. Agencies, again, don't recommend them at all. Don't use them. Okay, they're just there to take a retainer from you, and then once they're gone, you're back to square one. So don't recommend you using an agency, right? They just burn you in the process. You've probably been burnt in the past, right? Now's the time to stop using them and actually take everything in house because you don't need to use them, right? You're working with a 16-year-old Dutch person who doesn't understand anything about marketing, who's just been shown how to start an agency and try and make money from that, right? So don't work with agencies, and that's your first option, right? To do everything by yourself and to do all this weird stuff, right, with agencies and all this stuff. The second option is that you can work with a consultant, like me, for example, who has experience of working with brands who've generated this amount, right, in a 60-day period, 64K, 70K, right, as run meta ads and have consulted brands on the meta ads perspective and also the full funnel, right? So full funnel, I've helped brands with the website, with the ads itself, and also with organic marketing, how they should do that, right? And also email marketing. So I've helped brands out with that. And you can see this is how the funnel works, right? I help brands with each part of this funnel, right? The creative, what they should be doing from a creative perspective, the strategies that they should be implementing, which will help them with the organic marketing and the ads, right? Which in this case would be Meta because that's where I have the most experience. That's why I've seen brands have the most leverage. That's what a lot of the bigger brands depend on, especially fashion, health, and beauty brands, okay? And also the website as well. I help out with optimization, all this stuff, and then email, right? So all of this is very important. And in terms of how I offer this, obviously I have a 16-week program. Okay, so 24/7 Slack communication, right, with the brands I work with, so they can message me anytime. I help them out with any problems they're facing, and just give them direct communication that way. I also have weekly Zoom calls, right? So I have calls either weekly or bi-weekly, really depends, right? But I also provide resources as well, so that you're held accountable, that you have an understanding of the processes which you can go ahead and use once I'm gone, right? And then if you're interested in all of that and you feel like you can get started, you have the budget to in order to invest, then book in a call below, right? Link is in the description, okay? And then we'll see if you're a good fit. This is not a sales call, okay? I'm not here to sell you on my product, right? I'm not here to sell you on my coaching program. What it's for is for you to understand, this is a good fit for you. And if it is a good fit, then we can go ahead and get started, right? Because, time is money. I don't have time to be on an hour-long call with people who don't understand what I do, which I just told you in this video, right? And you to be asking, going back and forth with questions, right, about my coaching program, which I just covered now, or how it works, how the whole system works. That's the whole purpose of this video, right? So if you didn't understand that, go ahead and rewatch the video. Go ahead and watch my other videos as well, because the call is not for that, okay? The call is to just get started, sort of get, the onboarding process gone. If you have any questions, fine, fair enough. But you should have an understanding of what I do, how I can help your brand get to the next level and to your target revenues, okay? Okay, so again, the price of the program is going up, right? As you know, this is a lot very valuable. This is helping brands actually tangibly get better results, right? Like I just covered, all of these types of brands. Again, these are just on the lower end, right? These are brands that allowed me to share, results like this, right? With bigger brands, I can't showcase those results because obviously they don't want me to do that, and I'll be breaching a lot of shit, right? So these are the results that I've been able to generate, right, for brands. So it's very valuable. People see the value in that. So it's currently a couple of thousands of dollars. So this is something that is going up as well. If you don't have the investment for a couple of thousands of dollars in my coaching alone, then this is not for you. Okay, and then you need to have the budget on top of that if you want to invest in ads, which I highly recommend. Okay, and if you're not ready to go ahead and book in a link, call below, then you can go ahead and watch my other videos, no problem. Make sure you're watching a lot, my videos, because you can gain a ton of value. Just binge watch the content. And, from that point, you should be watching maybe like 7 hours worth of my content, because there's a 7-hour rule where if you watch 7 hours worth of content, then you'll be able to gain the knowledge and insights that you need. You can successfully implement it, right? And also you have very good knowledge of what I do as well at that point when you watch 7 hours worth of my content. So you can go ahead and do that. You can go ahead and click the link or the video in the top right corner, and I'll speak to you soon.